who you are is completely separate. It's almost like if you were an actor and you were playing a role, and your business person is playing a really important role, keeping track of that and doing the accounting and looking at the spreadsheet and trying to improve hits. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. Make that equivalent to who you are or your worth in any way. Not the same thing.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited for this session with my doctor and dear friend, Rachel Abrams.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I'm really excited to get to meet all of your people.
It's going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. For those of you that don't know, Rachel Abrams, Dr. Rachel Carlton Abrams graduated from Stanford University, received her medical degree at the University of California, San Francisco, as well as her master's degree in holistic health and medical sciences from the University of California, Berkeley. She's board certified in both family medicine and integrative medicine. Can we give it up for integrative doctors? Thank the goddess. Rachel has been voted best doctor in Santa Cruz County by 2 local publications for more than a decade. And recently she began a new model of healthcare and optimal wellness called transformational medicine, of which I am one of her students. Transformational medicine joins personal and community care and focuses on physical, mental, emotional, sexual, and spiritual health. Don't you love it when a bio actually kind of teaches you what's possible? Rachel's an avid student of the world's healing traditions and has been writing and teaching workshops all over the world in the areas of integrative and holistic health and healthy relationships for over 2 decades. She's published 5 amazing books, the most recent being Body-Wise, Discovering Your Body's Intelligence for Lifelong Health and Healing. And it's an amazing book. We'll tell you where to find out more about Rachel, drrachel.com. But Rachel, I'm just so excited to be here with you. You've completely changed my life for a decade and a half. You've taught me so much about what it is to be a woman. Let's just start out. What do you want to share with women leaders that are feeling the stretch in the world right now?
Here's what I want to share, because I take care of a lot of really powerful, amazing females, which is that in my observation, because of cultural conditioning, because we have big hearts, most of my leaders are overdoing it in at least one way, if not 20,000. And it's not that you can't be really on your path and getting shit done and really active. But there's a difference between being driven by what you think you need to do or by the need to care for everybody else, and being really powerfully pulled forward by your vision and your own body. And what I mean by that is, I know each of you knows what it's like when you are feeling into what you're doing, and you can feel it in your bones, in your cells. Like you're an entrepreneur who's in love with what you're doing and you feel so passionate about it. It's like inside of you. It's inside and you're letting it out. Or if you're a mother or you're caring for a parent, it's not hard to make yourself do it because it's inside of you and it's coming out. That's really different from somebody on the outside said I had to do it. Somebody on the outside said I had to meet this goal. Somebody on the outside needs me and it's my job to fix everyone, right? It's a completely different way of being. It is being integrated with your whole self when you're moving and acting in the world. And when you act from that place, it just looks and feels really different. It's got gravity in a way that being shoved from behind doesn't. Because you are, I like to say, you're in your thick self. Like you're not even having to set boundaries out there. You yourself are the boundary, because you are embodied with that spirit and that fire and that passion. And it's coming not just from you, but through you. That the universe gets to work through you because you are this divining rod for what wants to happen.
So say more about the fact that even though many of us are we are a channel, we are the divining rod, we can still overdo it, and I think when we as women leaders, because I know some of the women that you work with, there's some very well-known, famous women in your office.
Yes.
And when we get to talk to you, we get to let down our guard and go, holy crap, Rachel, I'm riding a dragon. The tidal wave hit me. And now I have this going on or this going on. And, I think, first of all, it's so important for all of us to have spaces and places where we can tell the truth about what's going on.
Amen. I need it too. Yeah. We all need it.
Yeah. And but can you help those of us, what advice do you have collectively then for the women leaders who we know we're on purpose? We know it is coming from the inside out most days, but it still can sometimes feel like too much.
Right. Because you get to this. I mean, I think at least early in my life, I was like, oh, I need to say no to the things that are painful for me. Oh, I need to say no to the things I just feel obligated to do. But at some point you get to a place where you have to say no to things you really want to do. I have this opportunity to travel, to speak in Bali, to, whatever, great opportunities. But if I'm actually listening inside, does my body want to do that? Am I fully integrated in that decision? When I think about it, do I have peace within myself? Does my chest feel open and alive? Or am I kind of doing this? Oh, teaching Bali. Oh, sounds good. I don't want to do it. It's not in alignment. Yeah. Too far, too much travel, too much effort. What I need is a nap.
So for those of you taking notes, this is really important. As you evolve in your leadership, you're not just going to be saying no to things you don't want to do. You're going to be saying no to things that ultimately you would love to do. If there were 2 or 3 of you, if there were 48 hours in a day, it'd be great to do them. But you can't do everything. And I really honor and appreciate that you're bringing this into the conversation, Rachel, because this season is all about the fierce feminine. And the fierce feminine is, I love that you use that word thick.
Yeah.
It feels thick when I'm aligned. It feels thick. And when I get kind of disconnected from my source and I'm overgiving, I start to feel that feeling kind of flapping in the wind.
Yeah, exactly. And the other piece of this that I think is crucial right now on the planet and is all about the emerging feminine wisdom and power. And that's not just you and me talking about this. That's not just this group talking about this. That is a worldwide movement. I am hearing it from every leader I speak with all across the planet. This is what's happening. We're going to look back at this time and go, oh, this was the early part of the wave. Now, from our back perspective, we can see it was already started. It's happening now. There is an emerging feminine. That emerging feminine is deeply connected to the planet because we are not separate from the planet. We are the planet itself. We are nature. I mean, I talk about this all the time. We are a walking ecosystem. We have more organisms in us than we have human cells. We are just a garden walking around on the earth. The earth is not separate from us. We are the earth. No separation. The wind, the water, the bacteria, the microbiome, all of it. So when we are making decisions, we have talking about that thick self. Part of that being thick self is being grounded on the earth and within the earth. So that energy is coming. There's nothing wrong with floaty energy. That's really fun sometimes. It's awesome. But it's different from I'm grounded. It's like Mother Earth is reaching up and grabbing my uterus and going, yes, ma'am, this direction, this way.
I've never felt that before. I always think about dropping my grounding cord, but to imagine Mother Earth reaching up through my yoni and I'm with you. That feels good, Rachel.
Yeah. I was in a cave in Italy. That was not surprisingly, a location for pre-Christian rituals, female rituals. The whole cave you have to swim through the water, climb up this craggy rock to get into it. And on the inside everything is covered in this pink and white, smooth substance. It looks like a giant vagina. And I was in there a year ago. And as I was in there, my feet were shaking. My whole body was shaking. And I swear to God, the earth goddess, Mother Earth, reached up in my uterus and said, mine. You are mine.
You were in like Mama Earth's vagina.
You're mine. And everything I do now has to really be from that place. Is this in service of wholeness of myself, of my community, of the earth itself, and of nature? If yes, here I go, because I'm unstoppable.
That makes me just want to growl. And it's just like, I want to invite all of you to like feel the power that gets ignited when you could imagine the earth reaching up inside of you like that. And what if, Rachel, you crawled up into that cave on behalf of all of us? Like, what if
Amen.
That was what you did? And here you are talking to thousands of us, thousands of women entrepreneurs and leaders ready to go to their next level. And it's got to be embodied, right? And like, can you share a little bit about your SHEro's journey? Because I know you gave birth to 3 kids, one set of twin daughters that were like freaking ginormous goddesses coming out of your yoni, bigger than you realized. You were like bedridden for months. Like, can you just share with women that it didn't always quite look as beautiful and shiny and amazing
oh my God.
As you see Rachel looking now?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like, it's always true that people write about what they need to learn. Am I right?
You're right.
Everyone I know. We all learn and write about what we learn because we have this wound that we need to heal. And in the healing of the wound, we learn, and then we want to share what we learn. So I was a crazy, driven, type A, perfectionistic, achievement-oriented, crazy person who also was super, spiritual, nature-related, etc. So I graduated from college, went to medical school, got married, converted religions, had a baby, continued my training, did residency, had twins during residency, didn't finish, was on bed rest for 2.5 months. It was insane, completely insane. Why did I do it this way? I don't know. Thank God I was young. It was really hard. And then I had 3 kids under 5 and I was starting a medical practice. So messy, difficult. I always say this idea that you're going to have balance is, and it's an oppressive concept that somehow this is a personal failure of yours because you're not balanced. That seriously, we are doing the best we can. We are doing the best we can in every circumstance. And I was doing the best I can, but things are falling off the edges. And I was still doing the best I can. I wasn't a perfect parent. I wasn't a perfect doctor. Certainly wasn't a perfect wife, but it was good enough. And I figured it out as I went. And I slowly learned how to be in my thick self, get source from within, all those things that now are the way that I flow. That was not just natural from the beginning. It might have been natural when I was a child, but it certainly wasn't natural as a young adult. And it's taken years of getting slapped around by the universe. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm not listening, there's a little tap. And then if I don't listen, I might get, shoved. And then if I really don't listen, I'm going to get swiped, I'm going to get knocked down.
Yeah. Like bam, wonk to the ground.
Right. And my patients, same thing. Most people with serious health crises, which are not your fault. I don't believe in that. That is not relevant here. But often the learning is, oh, right, I'm not paying attention in one way or another. We grow, we change, we move on. So that's certainly been my path in a whole bunch of ways. And I'm obviously still learning. But
I hope that those of you listening can feel how genuine and real and transparent Rachel is. Like, who I know Rachel to be is like, there's really never been a protective wall between Rachel and Rachel, right? Like whether I'm her patient or her friend or sitting around at dinner with Rachel, her husband, Doug Abrams, wrote the Book of Joy with the Dalai Lama. Like Rachel comes back from sitting at His Holiness's feet and just spews out all the things that was like. And I just want to put a stake in the ground that like this thing that Rachel's pointing to, which is that we look out into the world for some predetermined measure of balance, it's not going to happen. And the world's not looking for you to be that. And the world's not looking for you to be perfect or robotic or have it all figured out. The world's actually looking for you to be you. Like there's a reason why Rachel was voted best doctor for 10 years in a row. And I, have to sometimes like fight my way to make sure I get in the seat in her office. Because Rachel is who she is from the inside out. And I hope this is giving you that permission. And Rachel, I'm curious for you, like having traveled all over the world and studied with some of the highest of high mystics and being super close friends with some of the most spiritual and enlightened and famous beings on the planet. Like for us as women that are listening to you saying, yes, I want that. I want to allow myself to be myself. I want to allow myself to be in my thick self. But again, life can get in the way sometimes. So like, what advice do you give us to keep finding our way back to our purpose? And thank you for being so transparent that it has not always been easy for you either.
Oh my God. I also just want to say famous people are just people. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Famous people are normal people who, through luck or through vision or being driven by their demons, got more attention about a particular subject. It doesn't mean anything. And people are people. We're all uneven. There is nobody who's got their shit together 100%. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. Nobody I've ever met. And there are people I deeply respect, and I have teachers that I learn from. They're all humans. They're all humans. They're all uneven. They're all brilliant in one area and toddlers in another. It's okay. That's just reality. So
I just love this permission, because I think when we're going about getting visible online and we're going about putting ourselves out there and getting our message out there, it's so hard not to compare ourselves to the people with a zillion clicks and a zillion followers. And right. So just thank you for reminding us, like, we're just all uneven. Like, I just love that phrase. I've never even heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah. And, here's the other bit. It's hard when you're a business person. It's really hard when you're an online business person. But I had a big old fat crisis a few years ago. One of my projects didn't go as well as I would have liked. And I felt like a big fat failure for almost 2 years. And my learning at the end of that was, obviously, it was an old thing, not a new thing, right? Just harken back to the perfectionism and the type A and the overachiever, that my worth is not equivalent to any number. Yes. It's not equivalent to hits. It's not equivalent to sales. It's not equivalent to followers. It's not equivalent to my weight. It is not equivalent to, you cannot measure me. You can't measure me. Yes. So your business self, who's paying attention to numbers and followers and money, that's awesome. That's your business self. That's not who you are. Who you are is completely separate. It's almost like if you were an actor and you were playing a role, and your business person is playing a really important role, keeping track of that and doing the accounting and looking at the spreadsheet and trying to improve hits. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. Make that equivalent to who you are or your worth in any way. Not the same thing.
Boom, mic drop, pop it in the comments. You cannot measure me. Put it on your Post-it, put it on your freaking everything that you're going to look at every day. You cannot be measured. Thank you, Rachel. I feel like the last piece I'd love to get out of you, because I could talk to you all day, is body-wise.
Yes.
I love this book. This book changed my life. You interviewed me for the book. You interviewed a bunch of us, and we told you about times that our bodies flagged to give us wisdom. And one of the things that happened to me was I was about ready to make a big decision in my life that was not the right decision. Mm-hmm. And my body literally flooded with a rash. And it was telling me to go the other direction. And I know that many of us have these stories, but can you give us any tips to really tune in to these body symptoms as a doctor that you've seen over the years so we can trust this vessel that is the divine vessel of this beautiful purpose that is ours to bring?
Right. It's the Earth Mother right here. Right here. It's the divine Earth presence in our bodies. So worth listening to, deeply, deeply wise. And I won't go into the whole neurology of it, but your body's sensations and the activity of your immune system, like in Sage's case, she had an immune system screaming at her through her skin about a decision she was making. I see this all the time in my clinic. I experience it personally. I left my job as a regular doctor because I would get a migraine headache every day I went to work. Your body will tell you what's up if you listen. So listening is not exactly audio listening, right? It's feeling inside of yourself. And many of us, particularly those of us who have had trauma, have a hard time connecting to that felt sense of self. And it is possible to develop that sense of self. Like one of my favorite exercises, we call it the yes/no exercises in my book, Body Wise. And it's all about feeling what yes feels like in your body. So if we just did it really briefly right now, I want you to think of something you love without condition. Maybe not a human, but something you love without condition. And when you take a deep breath into that, what do you feel in your body? And I'll tell you, when I do this in groups, what people typically feel is light, open chest. They feel flooded, blood flooding into their hands or their feet. There's this openness, there's this vulnerability, there's this heart forward sense. And now just imagine or say to yourself a couple times, I hate that thing. I hate my puppy. I hate chocolate. I hate my sunsets.
Puppy. I hate warm water.
I hate the ocean. I hate the woods. Right. And notice as you do that, what do you feel in your body? I mean, I have chest tightness. Yeah. My shoulders want to go down. My head feels a little bit like it hurts. So there's this posture. Yeah. That's a no. That's a lie. Yeah. Not accepting. That's not in alignment for me. Yeah. So those are the simple kinds of clusters of sensations, which are particular to each one of us, that can be very useful, because all of us have had the experience of having that deep intuition of, oh, this is a bad idea. Going out with this person, taking that job, hiring this person, bad idea. But we do it anyway because, I don't know, looked good on paper. Never works out. Doesn't work out typically. So it's about being deeply respectful of your own body's intuition and how that intuition can lead you in your life.
I'm just breathing into that one. Thank you. Meditating on the yes, knowing what yes feels like. And when you're about to embark on something that doesn't feel that way, pause, take an assessment, choose yourself. Rachel, thank you for teaching me so much about what it is.
Oh, it's so pleasure. Thank you for sharing
myself. And I'm so honored and excited to be your friend and your student and to continue learning from you. And for those of you that are curious about Rachel's world, you have to check her out at drrachel.com. She is an incredible transformational medicine program, and she's got incredible chops, incredible juju, if you can't tell already. So just follow her, check her out. Rachel, what would you love to invite women to consider as we're signing off in terms of how to best keep an eye on you, and then what you would want to leave us with?
Well, here's what I want to leave you with. That we sisters are, as Sage says, rocking this world. We are, each one of us, in our own front yard. You don't have to look really far. You don't have to save the planet. It's not all on your shoulders. But whatever is in front of you to do now, now is the time. This decade, this next 8 years is the moment at which the rising feminine is going to need to turn the tide. And I believe it's going to happen, and it's going to happen much faster than we think. But it takes each one of us. It's like we're connected like the trees underground in a mycelial network. And when I do what I do, it moves through the network and it lifts up what you do. And all of us in this connected space are exactly what the planet needs at this moment. So thank you for your work. Thank you for your work. And I hope I get to, interact and meet with you sometime.
Oh my gosh, we got to bring you in as guest faculty. For those of you that are a part of Women Rock in Business, definitely stay tuned because you'll be seeing more of Rachel. I am so grateful. Thank you for the truth telling. Thank you for the inspiration, explosions of love. And I want to invite every single one of you to take this authentic transmission into your hearts and remember that balance is bullshit. Nobody can measure you. You cannot be measured. And that you're unstoppable. Let the earth penetrate up through your being. And we'll see you on the next session. Love you all. Keep shining your light. You're amazing.
Bye.
Don't forget to hit subscribe so I can keep getting you weekly content to grow your business that is relevant, authentic, and effective. So you can get out there and shine your light and be the messenger that you're here to be because your clients are waiting for you.